It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Assembling these two figures was not easy. I know there was a lot of people who were saying that the assembly of both Hokusais was a pain in the ass. However, I underestimated, or maybe I just overestimated my skill of figure assembly. But my god, these really humbled me yesterday. So the first issue actually came from OG Hokusai, where all of her little accessories, the birds twirling around her, the pins in her bun, are all incredibly fragile. Probably some of the most fragile pieces I've ever worked with in a figure. It was very difficult. You just have to have the hands of a surgeon to really super glue the pins back into place, and I completely just gave up on the birds. I just used the birds as like a garnish on the base because I was not going to work with that. They're just so small, so much fine detail that I just wrote it off as a loss. It's whatever. And then with Summer Hokusai, her thing was that I felt like I could never fully secure her sash into the pegs, or the sash pegs into the entry holes on her leg. It required this kind of fine touch where you had to slide the sash behind her paintbrush holder, and it was just kind of stressful. But when I have them in front of me, they look fantastic. But let me just start with the scaling on them. I probably don't have to explain this to you, but it's pretty obvious that OG Hokusai is about a full inch taller than Summer Hokusai. And that really just comes down to manufacturer differences. If you want to know which one's lore accurate, it's actually Good Smile Company's Summer Hokusai, since she's canonically 5'3". If you do the math and you take a 1/7 scale of someone who's 5'3", it would come roughly close to 9 inches. Not exactly, but close to 9 inches. So this one is a better scale size-wise than OG Hokusai. Fat Company probably just wanted to inflate her proportions a little bit more, so they made her slightly bigger. And I mean, that's fine. The only issue would be, like, because Hokusai is smaller as her summer form, the summer form is more shelf-friendly than her OG form. The accessories, the base, all take up a lot of space. So you kind of have to give her more shelf real estate to display her properly, versus Hokusai, which, although she is a little wide, the sash and the swords do make her a little wider. Her being a smaller size does help with that shelf management. The OG Hokusai lends more to kind of like an Oiron or a geisha look. Her massive paintbrush, it gives me flashbacks to Mario Sunshine with Baby Bowser's paintbrush, but everything just really comes together nicely. The only thing I do not like is that she kind of has sausage figures. Like, I don't know what's up with Fat Company and their hand sculpts, but I feel like they're just sloppy. They do so much detail work, and then once it reaches their hands, give them like these hot dogs for fingers. I might be over exaggerating, but that's what stands out to me. I feel like they just didn't do a good job on her hands, which is kind of a shame, especially because, I mean, most of her is kind of covered up, so they could have worked on her hands a little bit more. The other Hokusai, now her sculpt is fantastic. It is definitely, it's one of those things where it shouldn't work because of how many different patterns are going on with her sash. She has so much going on. There is swords coming out of every which way and direction. Like, it's a mess, but it's a artistic mess. It works. Like, it actually does work. The colors all come together. It forms this really nice composition that really draws your eyes, really draws your attention. Honestly, it's kind of limiting to even just consider her a summer or a bikini figure. She's more than just like a swimsuit figure. She is a really, really good character design. And I really do like how Toto-sama, her octopus that's near her, he takes more of a center stage on this figure than on the OG Hokusai, where he's kind of just small, a little bit more insignificant. It's a nice detail. Like, I do like that they added more to her octopus. Well, I shouldn't just call her octopus her dad. Yeah, this is a tangent, but the octopus is actually Hokusai. The girl is Hokusai's daughter, Oi. So it's actually one of the rare cases in Fate where the character isn't actually gender bent. She is just a different person. And the reason why he's an octopus, because in his life he was communicating with Cthulhu. You know, this whole Lovecraftian thing, which I won't go into, a little bit complicated. But back to the review. It's really hard to kind of even say which one's better. I do really like the extra aesthetics that are added to Fat Company's Hokusai. Her being slightly bigger does make her stand out a little bit more, especially on a shelf. She's just so well done. And even though there's a little less detail on Summer Hokusai, she still is a really great figure. So how I'll kind of like decide between the two is really down to how user-friendly these figures are. Again, assembly is a pain. Around 40 minutes assembly time for Hokusai OG and about 28 minutes for Hokusai Summer. I don't think, even though OG Hokusai looks amazing, she really isn't for the faint of heart. I feel like you have to buy her with the expectation that she'll arrive in the box broken. The amount of fragile pieces that are on her make it so that almost no matter how well packaged the figure is, it'll inevitably become more than a couple pieces the moment a FedEx delivery driver decides to kick your package. You're not gonna just be able to put her together and display her on a shelf. You're probably gonna end up having to super glue her pieces back on. So it takes a lot of patience and kind of knowing what you're doing as well. So she is not beginner friendly. She looks excellent, but it's kind of, you just have to prepare for the worst. If you can get her, this is a C grade pre-owned, by the way, which means that it's a damaged figure, so it's highly discounted on AmiAmi. You shouldn't buy her new, A rated or B rated. You should buy her as a C grade, because not only will she not cost like $250, which is the market price for her currently, you'll pay around $120, so with shipping it'll be around $150, and because she's already broken, you already know she's broken, so now you don't really have to worry about her being shipped new and breaking during transit. So that's definitely the cash money approach. But I guess if you want to save yourself some heartache, I would probably avoid it. 10 out of 10 figure, but I can't really recommend it. I do highly recommend Good Smile Company's Hokusai, because she is, although she's a little difficult to put together, she is a lot more friendly when it comes to assembly, and you can pretty much put her together without fearing that you'll break something. I felt like I was gonna break something, but I never did with Summer Hokusai. I did break stuff with OG Hokusai, like a couple of her birds fell off. But on Summer Hokusai, she came in one piece, and I put her together in one piece. So that's a success right there. So my recommendation, the winner between the two Hokusais has to be Summer. She's just more readily available and a lot less of a hassle to work with. And if you ever are thinking about reselling your figures in the future, you have a better possibility of reselling her in one piece, reselling Summer Hokusai than OG Hokusai. I don't even think I can place OG Hokusai back into her box That's how bad the assembly is. If I put her back in her box, she's going to break all over again. It's pretty much a wrap. She's out of the box and she's never really going to go back in the box. So, yeah. You can use that information how you will to make your next figure buying decision. But furthermore, Hokusai Summer is the winner between these two. Now, this is a slightly different format. Comparing the same character from different figure manufacturers is not what I normally do. So please comment, like, and subscribe if you liked what you saw. And with that, thank you very much for watching. See ya!